Hello and welcome to the featured news for 9 July 2021. My name is Harsh Singh, and in this featured discussion, we will cover integrated theatre commands. In this discussion, we will understand the present structure of Indian military, the command structure, and how it has been proposed to convert them into theatres, different theatres which are synergized with each other so that they are ready, war ready, and more efficient. We will also understand what are the global norms and what are the challenges associated with this kind of proposed structure. So let's begin this article. Do you know that India has Air Force in not only Air Force division, but also in Army division and in Naval division? Certain important flights, certain important helicopters have been included in Indian Army as well. That is called as Army Aviation. Army Aviation. And similarly, we do have a naval aviation as well. And we also have Air Force aviation, right? So Air Force is a part of Army, Navy, and Air Force, all three of them separately, right? Now, there is a force in USA called as Navy SEALs, right? Very popular. Now, Navy SEALs are trained well enough to operate in air, to operate in water, and operate on land as well, right? The point I'm making is India has three different forces: Air Force, Navy, and Army, and they operate at different fields. Army operates on land, Air Force at air, and Navy in the sea waters, marine sphere, right? But we do not have an integrated force which operates at all three levels. Now, this is conversation about integration, synergizing, and making the forces more efficient and war ready. This came as a result of the Kargil warfare, where the warfare was not only land based but also air based, and both the Army and Air Force needed to comply with integrated commands, integrated kind of decision making skills and decisions. And this is where integration of the commands was strongly recommended. So let us understand what is the structure that India is looking at right now. Now, this is in news because there has been a high level committee which has been set up, which will recommend the integration of tri-services theatre commands, right? So the idea is to have 5 integrated theatre commands by 2023. This is the news, right? And they will be able to assimilate the resources and assets of all three forces, conjoin them and use them together during the times of need. So this is the main point about it. It has this synergizing of these military commands has gotten accelerated with the presence of the first Chief of Defense Staff, right? This can be covered in a different news, Chief of Defense Staff. So this institution is ensuring that we have a new system called as integration of the defense services through this, right? Now, so what is theatreization? As I mentioned, theatreization is talking about synergizing all the tri-forces together, right? For example, the military will be coordinating with the Air Force, and Air Force will coordinate with the Navy, and so will Navy coordinate with the military in case of any contingency or warfare, right? So this is the main setup which is being proposed now, right? Now, this transition will happen in a few years' time. And meanwhile, if India gets attacked, the idea is to build such a flexible structure that the present command structure will get retained in case of contingency, in case of need. That means even when this setup of command is happening, these present commands, Army commands, Air Force commands, and Navy commands will be maintained. Presently, Army has got 7 commands, Air Force has got 7 commands, and Navy has got 3 commands, right? They also have training commands within them. Then we have separate logistics command for each of them, right? We also have 2 more commands. One of them deals with strategic forces command, which is about nuclear missiles, nuclear stockpiles, and the other one is specially for the strategic Andaman and Nicobar Islands, right? So that is how we have got 7 plus 7 plus 3 plus 2 commands. This comes to 14, 17, 19 commands at present. And the proposed number of commands in future will be 5 by integrating all these Air, Navy, and Air Force commands, right? And there will be common command for training so that there is a symmetry in the kind of training all the forces receive. There will also be a common command for logistics, right? So that, see, suppose if Army procures certain helicopters at some time, Then Air Force also procures same helicopters at some other time, and Navy also does the same. Now they will have different contracts because they have procured them individually, right? However, if it is done together, there will be reduced cost, maintenance cost will be less, and operations, training, etc., all will be synchronized and synergized, and therefore training command and logistics command also have been integrated with each other, right? So this has been proposed. This is what is written here, right? So this is the present structure, and this is what is the proposed structure for military theaterization, right? Now, to add to this, the idea is to set up air defense command before anything, and the naval command as well. Why? Now, air defense command will help spearhead the country's aerial attack. It does not need complete integration with the army and navy, and therefore trying the integration of air force first will be the way to go, and then maritime command can also be utilized, right? So this is what has been proposed for now. Also, the idea has been to have these commands in terms of these 5 specific commands. So one will be Northern Command, then we have Western Land Command, then Eastern Land Command, and then Maritime and Air Defense Command. So these are the 5 commands we are speaking of right now. It doesn't mean that Western Land and Eastern Land Command will not have the purview of Air Force and Navy. They also will be equal participants. However, air defense is an exclusive domain of Air Force with help of Army, with help of Naval Force. So this is how they are trying to set up these commands. Okay. Now, why do we need this? Now, there are many reasons why we need theaterization of commands. The first one is recommendation of Kargil conflict. Now, we have understood that Kargil war needed Air Force and Army both to act in synchrony. And there could have been ways where India has learned this lesson in a reconciliatory manner. And that is why the idea to propose integration is there. So one is strongly synergizing all these different forces. The second one is having streamlined cost and reduced redundancies. For example, contract management, right? So we save on efficiency. We have better efficiency. We have more savings on cost through this. And the third one is global norms. Now, as I spoke of SEALs, Navy SEALs, there are various forces around the world which operate on all 3 terrains: air, water, and land. And for example, America, right? China, they all have got military commands, theater commands, right? For example, if we have an aircraft carrier, now they have capabilities of water, they have also got capabilities of air, right? So they are inside a sea arena, they are a force in itself, and India must have a force of itself at all the places, right? Even on land, even on air, right? So this is the idea. Countries like China and USA already have got these commands, and Pakistan also is building a command of the similar kind. India must not remain behind. India must compete and get ahead in this race as well, right? But what are the challenges? Now, India is already facing war, double-edged sword, this war at 2 fronts. One is at China and one is in front of Pakistan. And therefore, during these times, setting up of command is a very critical move to make, right? Also, we are not sure if we have got enough capabilities. For example, we have declared the Indo-Pacific region from the east of Africa to Japan. Will we be able to secure all these places in a limited time with limited resources? This is a question, right? So having a command right now for Navy, an integrated theater command for Navy with inadequate capabilities is a question, right? Also, the present structure is operational from Ministry of Defense and Ministry of Home Affairs both. So integrating forces is another question, right? This is a question of bureaucracy, question of promotion, official ranks and designations. So this is another question being put in front. And also the offensive component, right? For example, Air Force has been meant specially for offense, right? And also for defense activities. So Air Force offense capabilities and defense capabilities can be kept exclusive. Air Force can integrate with different divisions of Air Force, but making it immediately integrate with other forces can also impede the operational capacity of Air Force, especially for offense and defense right now. So the idea to include multi-domain operations right now is a good move, is definitely a good move, but it must be taken step by step. As in the beginning, I said that in case of contingency, in case of sudden war, we must fall back to this present system of command, which is Army commands, Navy commands, and Air Force commands. Also, we must also step by step proceed to make it a joint military command, theaterization of commands, right? In the 5 theaters. So this is the next logical step to have theaterization agree, right? Also that the armed forces must not be individual forces. They must act as the armed forces of union in synchrony and synergy with each other, right? So this is the feature news of today. Now you could also attend this question: what is the need for theaterization of military in India, right? Now you can mention about the efficiency, you can mention about the global norms, you can mention about the lesson learned from Kargil war. You can also give examples, right? For example, I just mentioned you the example of the army aviation, naval aviation, and air force, right? Same equipments being used, same gadgets, same pilots, same standard for pilots being used, but different training be used, right? For example, Navy SEALs, right? So use these examples, you will definitely fetch marks in this. Analyze the challenges in the process, right? You will have to analyze the challenges. Now what you got to do right now is pause the video, take a look at the video, note down the important key points, and then think about it, and then attempt this question. All right, thank you for watching.